5 reasons why rejecting nuclear energy is a big mistake. On April 15, 2023, Germany shut down its last nuclear power plants. The country pledged to do so in 2011. True to their word, the Germans are now denuclearized. This move is very unpopular. More than 60% of Germans oppose the decision, but the Green Party says it's good for the environment. Is it though? Here are some troubling things to consider. 1. It's terrible for the environment. Nuclear energy produces zero pollution. Environmentalists suggest renewables as an alternative. The problem is, renewable sources don't produce enough power. Germany has invested billions in wind and solar farms. In reality, it mostly relied on natural gas. Gas is not only a fossil fuel, it also comes from Russia. After Russia invaded Ukraine, Germany decided to wean itself off. So what's the alternative to cheap natural gas and nuclear? Like burning coal, of course. This is the worst possible outcome. Germany is already the largest CO2 producer in the European Union. Last year, its dependence on coal grew by 8%. Coal burning has been linked to lung cancer and heart disease. Coal miners suffer from black lung. It's a potentially lethal condition caused by breathing in coal particles. Meanwhile, nuclear is a zero-emission energy source. 2. Nuclear energy's land footprint is small. Nothing compares to nuclear inefficiency. A typical 1,000 megawatt nuclear facility needs about 1 square mile to operate. In comparison, wind farms require 360 times more land area. Solar photovoltaic plants require 75 times more space. In other words, one nuclear reactor equals 3 million solar panels. Don't forget that these panels need to be produced and regularly replaced. This is a costly and pollution-producing industrial process. It also requires huge amounts of energy. 3. Nuclear energy produces minimal waste. People are often worried about nuclear waste. However, the amount of nuclear fuel needed for energy production is tiny. Let's take the US as an example. There are 60 nuclear power plants and 98 reactors in the States, yet all of the fuel produced by them over the last 60 years could fit on a football field. It would be less than 10 yards deep. That waste can also be reprocessed and recycled. Some advanced reactor designs could operate on used fuel. Recycling solar panels and coal ash is very difficult. That's more waste, more wasted energy, and more polluted land. 4. Nuclear energy is the best way to stay independent. This is another problem with fossil fuels. Countries like Germany rely on imported fuel, but cheap oil and natural gas are mostly produced by unsavory regimes. Germany's dependence on Russia has often been criticized. Austria and Hungary still depend on Russian gas, so they oppose European sanctions against Russia. Yet they are members of the European Union. This political fracturing has no solution. Switching to cheap oil means being dependent on others. The EU imports much of its oil from Libya, Kazakhstan, and Saudi Arabia. None of these countries are liberal democracies. But France, for example, is 56% independent for its energy needs. The reason? France is Europe's largest nuclear energy producer. 5. Nuclear energy is cheap. Nuclear power is one of the cheapest sources of electrical power generation. France has one of the lowest electricity prices in Europe. Germans are already paying 70% more for electricity. Now the prices are expected to soar. This will push some German firms into bankruptcy. What do you think?